Start record. In the previous session, we have discussed about Postman tool. Is it right? We have seen how you can send the request through Postman tool. Before that, we have seen how you can install that Postman tool, how you can create a collection, creating a request, right? Creating a workspace. Those are all the things which we have discussed. Right. So in today's class, what we'll be doing, we'll be creating, right, dummy APIs, right? Dummy APIs. Also, we'll be seeing JSON and JSON path, right? Very important for entire API testing. This is what the basic, right? See, we said one point. Whatever the APIs which we are going to use in this course, those are real-time APIs. Those are publicly available APIs. Is it right? But what is the need for creating dummy APIs? Why you need to create? Why a user need to create his own APIs? The reason is, so we will try to master the concept with the dummy APIs, right? Once we master the concept, then going ahead, we'll be trying to take real-time APIs, right? For testing purposes, for testing purposes, right? And mastering concepts, mastering concepts, right? What we will do, we will create dummy APIs. We'll create dummy APIs. Once we are perfect with these concepts, we can directly do on real-time APIs. But the thing is, if you try to do on dummy APIs, will be well versed with the concept. So that is the reason we need to understand creating dummy APIs. With the help of dummy APIs, you will get the response, right? See, from that response, so in the response body, you can do some validations by using a JSON, right? Most of the data is through JSON format only, right? See, from this JSON format, right, we'll try to extract a specific value that we'll be seeing that. For testing purposes, we'll create a dummy APIs. Right, after mastering the concepts, we'll go for real-time APIs for hands-on experience. A good, right? See, you need to create dummy APIs. All right, to create dummy APIs, you need three things. Prerequisites are important, right? One is you need to have Node.js, right? Node JavaScript. Every web application nowadays is dealing with JavaScript, right? For developing backend related stuff, we'll use Node.js. For frontend, we'll use React.js or AngularJS. Is it right? See, with respect to APIs, right? So you need this Node.js, right? See, this Node.js, like in Python, to install any package, you need pip, right? So in Node.js also, to install any package, I need npm, Node Package Manager, right? Node Package Manager. I'll be sharing this document with you. For now, just try to understand, right? This npm you need to install along with Node.js. So once you install Node.js, you need this JSON-server plugin, which is like a package, right? So which you can install with the help of this npm, Node Package Manager. This JSON server is responsible for creating our own APIs, for creating dummy APIs, right? For creating dummy APIs. Let us see step by step how you can create a dummy APIs, how you can work on that accordingly, right? Observe here, guys. First, what you need to do, you need to install this Node.js, right? Node.js means Node JavaScript library, right? JavaScript library it is. You need this, very important. See how you can install this. Just navigate to this download link, right? So very important. I'm just clicking Control, right, and left click on my mouse, right? So click on allow if you have this. So it will try to open a web application, right, which is nodejs.org.download. So it will directly go to download page of this Node.js application, right? So you can select which version you want, which operating system it is, like Windows, Mac, right, Linux operating system, right? So you can just keep this FNF by default, or if you want to run this by Docker container, you can also do that, right? So by default, keep with Node Package Manager, All right, so you can execute this code in the command prompt to get this Node.js installed, or directly click on this Windows installer, right? Microsoft software installer, right? So click on that. So once you click on that, so this MSI file will be downloaded. Just open that file, right? Once you open that file, so it will try to open that file. So I have already installed this actually, right? So I'll be sharing this document with you. Just follow that. So click on next for now. Accept the terms. All right, this is very easy, straightforward. Click on next. All right, so by default, so it will be created. Node.js folder will be created inside C drive, inside program files. Right, click on next. So once you click on next, observe here, guys. By default, right? I have said that by default npm node package manager will be installed along with the node.js, right? So this is what the thing, right? Node package manager. So it will be installed automatically. Click on next, right? So select these options. These are all the default options. So once you click next, so you will try to get a specific window, like you can see it here, right? I'm just installing this node.js first, navigating to this link, clicking on this MSI file. So accordingly, I have got this MSI file downloaded. So what I have done, I have just opened that file. So when I open, you can see this window with the next, all right? So click on next. So accept these options, all right? Accept these terms and conditions, right? Click on next again. So click on next. So by default, node.js will be created inside this folder, right? Click on next, right? Observe here the same window we have got, is it right? So along with node package manager, by default it is available. Click on next again, right? So you can try to click on next. So from there, right, click on install. So once you click on install, you can see this window, right? Installing node.js, right? Once it is completed, right, you can see this option, this window completed the node.js setup wizard, right? Just click on finish, right? See, one of the prerequisite is node.js to create dummy APIs, to create our own APIs. One of the prerequisite is node.js. Along with node.js, npm also you will come directly. So it will be installed directly, right? Sometimes, right, by default, so this node.js will be added to path, right? See, you see here, this is what one of the option, add to path. Why any application path you need to add that in system variables. The reason is, suppose you are installing your application in C drive, right? If you want to access that application from the D drive, how your system will know? So if you add the path where your application is to environmental variables, not only from C drive, from any location, from any part of your system, you can try to access that application. So that is the reason most of the times, always people try to prefer this add to path, right? So this application, Node.js application, by default, it is added to path because during installation itself, it is having this option. So if it is not having, sometimes if you miss this particular option to check, by default it will be checked. Sometimes there is a chance to miss that option also. So what you can do, just go to this PC, right click on this PC, click on properties. All right, so once you click on properties, you'll see this system window. You can see advanced system settings, click on that. Right, once you click on that, you can see environment variables, click on environment variables. So you can see one of the section, system variables. Right, in system variables you can see path, right, which is a path variable. Click on edit, right? So click on new, just to specify the path where your node.js is installed, is it right? By default this is what the location, right? Just try to add that location. So along with that location, inside node.js folder, you can also see this node modules, right? These two you need to add it to path, but by default these are already added. You don't need to bother about this. If you miss, right, just come to advanced system settings. So click on environmental variables, then you can add the location, right, of this node.js to the path. All right, so once you install this node.js, you need to make sure whether it is installed or not. Is it right? So this is how you can set environmental variable. Once you set that, you need to check whether this node.js and npm both are installed or not. See how you can check. So to check, you need to execute these simple commands. One is node hyphen hyphen version and no npm hyphen hyphen version node.js, which version it is. So whatever the version which you have just downloaded, suppose if it is 22.14.0, you can see this particular option here, but here the version is different. Right, similarly npm also, what version of npm which you have installed, so that will be displayed here if it is properly installed. If a node is properly installed, if npm is properly installed, you can see the versions like this. So let us try to check how you can try to check the installations of node and npm, right? So opening this command prompt, so it is command prompt, open that. See, observe here. So I'm just issuing node hyphen hyphen version, right? Once you issue that, so I have installed this version. In your case, it has some update like 22.14, which is a long-term support it is. So always go for long-term support, any application it is. Sorry. Once you check the node version, again you need to check npm version, whether it is installed properly or not. So npm hyphen hyphen version. So click on enter. So it will also show you what version of npm which you have installed in your system. Very good. So two prerequisites are completed, right? So we have installed one is node.js and the other is npm. Sorry. So next you need JSON server. This JSON server is responsible to create APIs. This JSON server is a plugin. It is a package, right? It is available inside this node.js, right? So how you can install that by using this npm, right? See, observe here. So just one simple command in the command prompt, right? To install JSON server. So with the help of npm, like pip in Python, is it right? Pip install here, npm install hyphen g JSON server, specify the package name, right? So come here. So npm, right? So npm install hyphen g JSON hyphen server, JSON hyphen server. So this is what the command which you need to specify in the command prompt so that you can install this JSON server. So once you install JSON server only, you'll be able to create your own APIs, Node.js, npm, and JSON server. I have already installed this in my local machine. Now, once you install this JSON server, right, you'll be able to see the simple messages, right? See, change 45 packages in 7 seconds, 14 packages. Don't bother about all these things. These are by default installed with this JSON server, right? So sometimes these 45 packages here, maybe it is somewhat a different figure in your case, right? So it can be some 21. Accordingly, if the version of JSON server is changed, right? So packages also, packages count also will be changed, right? So don't bother about this information. So, and you can also ignore this, right? New major version of npm available, right? So if you have installed any old version of npm, with the help of npm only, you are trying to install this JSON server. So in Python also, it will show you some information. So pip available, latest version of pip is available. The same way here, you can just ignore that, right? So you can just ignore this. So you can just install this JSON server, right? So we have installed node.js. Next is npm. By default, it is installed, right? So you need JSON hyphen server, to create and run our own APIs. To create and run our own APIs. Very good. See, to create an API, you need data. You need data. Very important thing. To create an API, you need data. So what data it is? JSON data. Guys, when you're dealing with APIs, right? When you are dealing with APIs, there are two types of data formats. One is JSON format, right? And the other thing is XML format. XML format. Is it right? For APIs. REST APIs most of the times, right? 99% supports this JSON format because JSON is having a lot of advantages than XML format. If you take SOAP APIs, right, they'll be supporting this XML format. REST APIs support the JSON format, right? So nowadays every API is mostly a REST API. So you need to habituate working with JSON format. So SOAP is very old. Only few companies are using. Right, everybody is using REST API. Right, REST API needs JSON data. Right, JSON data format. You need to specify the data in JSON format. You have installed the prerequisites. You need a data which is a JSON format data to create and run APIs. Right, so how you can try to create a data. So for your information, what I have done, so I have created students.json data. Students.json data. Students data I have specified in JSON format, right? Where I have specified. So observe here. Go to this PC. In the same way, try to create in your local machine also, so that it is very easy going ahead for you. Right? This PC. Go to uh, uh, C drive. So inside C drive, what I have done, I have clicked on this new, created a folder which is automation. Click on that automation. So inside automation, I have created another folder which is automation files. Click on that. So inside automation files, I have specified another folder which is JSON files. Inside JSON files, I have specified the data students.json. I have created this. Similarly, another JSON which is store.json. I'll be sharing these JSON files with you so that you can work very easily, right? So observe here, I'm just opening this with a notepad. So observe here, this is what a JSON data, guys, right? Entire data is what a JSON data, JSON formatted data. So I need this data to create an API. Good, you have a data. How you can create an API from this? Right? So to create an API, you need these three things that what we have already done, right? Our own APIs, dummy APIs we are creating, right? See how you can do that. So just to follow this simple documentation again. So create students.json file with the following data, all right? So this is what the data which I have already specified in Excel in some JSON file. So what I'll be doing, I'll be just running this command, JSON-server students.json. Right, this is what the command which you need to run. So what this JSON server will do, this JSON server will try to create one API. It will try to give us one API with the data which is specified in students.json. Right, with the help of that API, you can perform a lot of requests. Right, you can send a lot of requests also. Right, so you can hit lot of APIs also. Right, you need this hyphen watch, which is an optional one to see different information. Right, so let us try to execute this command. I'm closing this existing command prompt. So how you can execute this in the command prompt only, but where you need to execute, so wherever you have specified this students.json, right, go to that location. So once you go to that location, you will be having students.json file. Is it right? See, observe here. So this is what a location. Is it right? See, automation files, inside automation files, I have JSON files. So inside JSON files only, I'm having students.json, right? See, from this location, open the command prompt CMD in the search bar, specify CMD, click on enter. So once you click on enter, you see here, so automatically your command prompt is having opened at this location. Is it right? See automation files, JSON files, right? So wherever you have specified students.json, you can directly open from there, right? So what, this is one way. There is another way. So directly what you can do, you can open command prompt, right? This is what the location is, it right? So just copy that location, Control C, come to command prompt. So by default, if you see here, command prompt is there inside C users, and this is what a user name, is it right? So I need to go to this directory, is it right? This is what the directory, this is what the location, this is what a folder where I have students.json, right? So you can specify that cd means change directory. Currently you are in this directory, but go to this directory. So in this directory only you are having this students.json, that what you are meaning, right? Click on enter. Observe here, now you have the access inside this folder, right? So inside this folder only I have this students.json. So what I can do, I can issue this command json hyphen server hyphen hyphen watch students, right, dot json. This is what a command, right? So hyphen hyphen watch is an optional, you can just remove this, right? So observe here, when I click on enter, see, it is showing some additional information, right? Some metadata about the API, right? So to see this metadata, you need this optional one, hyphen hyphen watch. If you don't specify this, you won't be able to see this metadata, right? See, observe here. So this JSON server is responsible to create an API with the data present inside students.json, right? So this is what an API, this is what an endpoint. In your local machine, you are running this API. So that is the reason it is showing endpoint as local host. If it is a real API, real-time API, so it will be having some host, right? So, but here it is a local host because we are creating our own API for practice purpose, for mastering the concepts. Once you master the concept, you can work on real APIs. It is very, very easy, right? So let us try to open this, right? So control, click on that. So once you control click on that, you can see, so it will try to open that in some browser. So you can refresh this. This is what the data is, it right? See ID 1, John, India, and phone courses. Right, this is what the data which is specified in students.json. Is it right? So let me open that. Open with notepad. See, observe here, this is what the data, right? So the same data you are able to see here, right? ID as 1, all right? So ID as 2, right? ID 3, the same data, which is students data, right? With the help of data, you are able to create your own API with JSON, JSON server. Very good. You have got all these things, right? You have got an endpoint, you have got an additional information, right? See, with the help of this API, what I will do, I have created some Excel file, so which is for test cases, students API test cases it is. Right, I'll be sharing this with you Excel, so that you can work with the Excel as like I'm working here, right? So you can get a single student data, right? You can see here how many students you are having. So I have total 3 students, and this is what an API. So this API is giving you the response like this, right? So it is having student 1, student 2, right? Student 3, right? Total 3 students data. Suppose if you want to get a single student data, you can specify, right? Students slash 1, right? So observe here, we'll try to work with the postman tool. For here in information, I'm showing this in the browser, right? Suppose if you want to get all the students data, so instead of specifying the ID of a single student, specify all the students, right? Suppose if you want to create, right? So if you want to create a new student, creating is like a post request, getting all the students is a get request. Is it right? So getting single student is also a get request, but if you will specify the ID of a single student, right? So it does not need any authentication, request a payload also. And the response payload is like this status code. And you can also do validations. How you can do validations, we'll see in the next session. Here we'll be learning some important things for the next session, right? So get all students data also, which is a get request, right? So it will try to give the response like this. And along with that response body, you'll be also having this status code, right? Suppose if you want to create a new student, right? You can use this same URL, right? So you can try to hit the API with post request, right? Post request method. So you need to specify some request payload. Is it right? In the first session or in the second session, we have discussed. So different types of methods will be having, right? So if you want to create a new resource in the server, you need to use this post method. So along with the post method, you need to send some request payload. Sorry, this is what a request payload, and this is what a response. Along with the response, you'll be having this status code, right? Suppose whatever the new student which you have created, you'll be having the response like this along with the ID, right? The same ID you can see here. So with the different numbers, right? ID is what an key actually, right? It is having one here, right? You see ID2, right? ID3 here. Similarly, so if you try to create a new student, this API is designed in such a way, it will try to display you the information like this with the different ID, not in the form of integer, right? It will try to have this in the form of string. We'll be discussing that as well in some time, right? So it will also be having some status code as 201, right? See, and you can see update student. Whatever the student which you have created, if you want to update, you can try to use this put method, right? If you want to delete, you can use a delete method. We'll be trying to work with all these things right now, right? See, and one more important thing, you can ask me one question. Hey, how you got to know this API will give the response like this, right? So if this API needs some request payload, right? How you got to know? See, in real time, you'll get all this information with the help of Swagger document. But here in this case, since we are creating our own dummy APIs, we know how the things will work. But in real time, when a developer designs some API, he will provide some information. So which is in the Swagger documentation, right? While be using that documentation, right, to try to send some a request. So with the different types of method with a different payload, right? What type of payload it is, right? So whether it is a JSON payload or XML payload. So all these informations developer will specify in the Swagger documentation. Going ahead, we'll see how you can try to update the information in the Swagger document also, lot of things. But for now, don't bother about all those things. All right. So let me take each and every uh, uh, request methods, right, which are there here, and let us try to hit this API which we have created, right? This is what a dummy API which we have created for our purpose, right, to learn the concepts, right? And one more important thing, so once you execute this, right, so JSON hyphen server students.json, once you are running this API, don't close this command prompt. If you close this command prompt, you won't be able to access this API, right? So always keep this open. So once you complete your work, you can just close this. For now, if you are working, don't close this command prompt, right? So I'm going to Postman tool, right? So this is what the day one HTTP request session. So we have created get, post, put, delete. We have seen the responses status codes also. So now what I will do, I will try to create a bank collection. So let me give the name as day two students API, right? A students API. So in this collection, so I will try to add multiple requests, right? So first request is get single student data, right? So let me create a request, so which is a get request. Click on these three dots, click on add request. We have seen all these things in the day 0 and day 1. Today is day 2, right? So click on add request, right? So how you can create a request, create a collection, create a workspace, all right? So I have created here a get request. Let me modify the name as get, right? So single student data, single student, get single student simply. All right. So what is the API? So this is what an API endpoint. All right. Take that, paste it here. And if you make any changes, those changes will be automatically saved. Is it right? So we have enabled automatic save option so that it is automatically saved. So if it is not, so you'll see some save button here. You'll be able to save the changes. Here, I don't have any save option because I have enabled that. Click on settings. All right, you can see, go to settings. So in the general section, when you scroll down, so in the application tab, you can see auto save. So I have enabled that. So whatever the changes which I make here, right, they will be auto saved. All right. So does this request need any information along with this URI? See, observe here, HTTP request is get, no authentication. Authentication is not available. Request payload is also not available. But when you try to send this request, it will give the response body, response payload like this, right? Along with the status code. Only these two informations, right? So let us try to send this request. I'm clicking on send, right? So observe here. So this is what a JSON data, which is a response payload, right? So the status code is a 200, right? So is it correct? How you know, right? So observe here. I'm just taking this, right, along with the information in the postman. I'm just comparing that. See, you have total 3 students. Is it right? So I'm accessing the data with respect to only one student. So I'm specifying the ID of that student. How I got to know? I need to specify the ID. So this API is designed in such a way so that it only takes ID. So in some real-time APIs, they will give all this information in Swagger documentation. Accordingly, we need to create test cases. Right? Accordingly, to specify test data also. All right. So observe here. Is it correct? Yes. So ID one. Yes. So name is John. Location India. Right. Phone number is 1234567890. Courses is Java Selenium. Very good. So it is getting me single student data. Right. Suppose if I want to get all students data, right? So what I can do, let me create another request. So which is also a get request. Is it right? Get all students data, all right? So create a get request, get all students. This is what the name of an request, right? So what is the URI here? So this is what an URI, just copy that. Whatever I am doing, just try to practice for now, right? You need to habituate all these things, right? So you are getting all students data. Do it need any type of request payload? No, not available, right? Do it need any authentication? So authentication is also not required. But when you try to get all the students, so it will try to show you the response payload like this, right? With all students data, right? Observe here, sending the request, right? So you see here, so this is what the total response payload. Is it right? Total 3 students, 1, 2, 3, right? Total 3 students. What is the status code? 200 is what is status code. Is it right? So is it correct? Yes, 200 is what is status code, right? So there is another request which is create a new student, right? You want to create a new resource in the server. For that, you need to use this post method. So observe here. creating another request, which is a post request. So I want to create a new student. So let me take this API. All right, I'm taking the same API. All right, students. All right, so local host. This is what a port number. This is what a path. Right, so students. Right, so if you want to create a new request, post is what the method type, no authentication, but you need to send a request to payload. Right, if you want to create a new resource in the server, you need to send a request to payload. Right, this is what a request to payload, which is in the JSON format. Right, JavaScript object notation format. We'll be seeing that going ahead. Right, let me copy that. All right, I'm creating a new student, which is Scott. Name is Scott, location, phone number, courses also. Right, so once you create a new student, it will try to give you the response like this. This is what a response. And what will be the status code? 201 is what a status code. For post 201 is what a message it will show in the form of a status code. That means the request is successful. Right, let us observe here. See guys, you need to send a request payload. Along with this URL, I need to send some request body. That request payload is called as a request body. So this is what a format which this API is designed. Suppose if the request payload which you need to send for this API is in the XML format, how you will get to know whether I need to send in XML format or inside this Postman tool with JSON format by seeing that Swagger documentation. Here, this is what our own API we are creating. So we got to know this. You can specify like a JSON format. Right, I'm taking this request payload. So how you can try to send that request payload along with this URI? See, you can have one of the option as body, one of the section as body, like params, parameters, authorization tab, headers tab, right? Like this, you also have this body tab, right? Inside body, you need to specify the data along with this URI which you need to send, right? Suppose if you are written scripts, right, for validations, right? Response validations will do status code, headers, cookies, right? In the scripts tab, we'll try to specify that post response, pre-request test, right? So you can specify, but in the body, you need to send the data, right, along with this request. All right, so what type of data it is? JSON data. So you need to specify that option here, right? So none means nothing. Suppose if you want to send some PDF, you need to specify this form data, right? So in this case, I'm only concerned about the JSON format request to payload, right? This is what a JSON format request to payload. So what I will do, I'll just go to raw, right? Just try to replicate the same thing, guys. So once you click on this raw, you can see this drop down is enabled, right? So APIs supports multiple types of request payloads. It can be text, it can be JavaScript, right? It can be JSON, it can be HTML, XML, right? So how you can send what type of request payload by seeing Swagger documentation. So in this case, JSON data, select JSON. Suppose if it is text, click on text. Suppose if it is XML, click on XML. So accordingly, you need to specify the data here. All right. So in this case, it is a JSON data. So select JSON under this raw. So paste that. So once you paste that, you can see here, this is what a JSON data, right? So which you need to send along with this request payload, right? Along with this URI. Let me try to specify that inside only single quotes, because key and value pairs these are, right? You should never use this double quotes. Key always must be there inside single quotes. Single quotes are double quotes, right? But not it, the count should be single, but not it is double. I'm just removing two double quotes here. Yes. So this is what the data which you need to send along with this URI. Now click on send. Right. So it will be automatically saved these changes. So directly click on send. So once you click on send, what is the status code here? Observe here 201, which is a status code. right? Is it what the expected status code? Yes. So along with this status code, it will also have response payload, right? See, observe here, this is what a response payload, right? So every resource is having some ID. This API is designed in such a way, once a resource got created in the server, it will try to have that ID. You need this ID to update that request, right? To update that resource, right? To delete that resource also. So ID is required. Is it right? Observe here, if you want to get a single student data, what you are doing, you are specifying ID of that student, right? So that it will try to display some single student data, right? So now what I have done, so I have created a new student. Is it right? So create student. This is what an API, right? So request name, which I'm specifying, API request name, right? Create a student, right? Click on send again, right? Again, another student got created in the API, right? In the database. Observe here. So this is what an API, just refresh that. So once you refresh, so you see 6E59, is it at previous request it is. Now another request, which is 10FA, is it right? Is it the same ID which you are seeing here? 10FA, Scott France, right? So the IDs are different. Is it right? So you need this ID to delete this resource, to update this resource, right? Once that resource got created, right? You are only creating some request right now. So you are creating some resource right now, right? In the server by using this post method. For post method, you need to specify this request body also. That what I specified. So this is what the previous case example, right? So that is the reason the ID which you see here is different. The ID which you see here is different, right? So it will dynamically generate the IDs, right? Let's suppose if you want to update the student, right? You need to go for put request method. See which student you want to update. Every student will be having some ID. Is it right? Specify the ID of the student so that you can try to update the information. So whatever you want. All right. Let us try to see. So how you can try to update, right? See update student, another request I'm creating, right? Update student, update student, update student, right? Which type of request method it is? Put, right? So I'll be taking this URI, right? See, observe here. I'm pasting it here. See, you need to specify the student ID, which student you want to update. So in this case, so I have created multiple students, right? So let me take the ID of this student, right? So I'm pasting it here. So you need to update, right? So the student with this ID, I need to update, right? So update means again, you need to have a request body. Is it right? So this is what a request payload, right? What information you need to modify. So observe here. See previously the location is France. Now I want to update that to Germany, right? So phone number is previously 123456. Now it is 654 321. So this is what the information which I want to update, right? So you need this information. Is it right? So in the create a student, I have already specified this, right? So it is already created some uh, resource in the server. Now I'm just updating that resource with the help of put method. So how you can update along with this URI, you need to send a request payload, right? So go to body, click on raw, select JSON, specify the data which you want to update. So here I will try to replace France with Germany, right? Phone number with, right, 654 321. All right. So this is what a phone number which I'm just replacing. I'm just updating. All right. So let us try to see here also. Scott France. right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? This is what the information, right? I'm trying to update the student information with the help of put, right? So let us try to see whether it is able to update or not. Click on send. So once you click on send, so it is okay. Status code is okay. Is it right? Is it what an expected status code? Yes, 200 is what an expected thing. So, so you can see here. So that resource got updated. So this API is designed in such a way, it is just displaying the information like this, the same type of information, right? You can see here. This is what the format, the same format, name, Scott, location, Germany, phone number, courses, and with a different ID. Is it a 10FA? This is what an ID, right? This ID student got updated. Let us see whether it is updated or not. I just refresh this. So if you see here, previously it is France, right? So now it is Germany. Previously the phone is 123456. Now it is 654321. Right? Is the data got updated for a resource? Yes, it is updated. Suppose if you want to delete a resource, let's suppose which is delete student. What student you want to delete? Specify ID of the student, right? It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3. These are different IDs. Is it right? So once you specify the ID, you can delete entire resource from the server, right? So let me try to make you understand. Let me create another request. So which is delete student, delete student, delete student, right? Which type of HTTP request method it is? Delete. All right. So if you want to delete a resource in the server, you need to use this delete method, right? So specify uh, the URI along with the student ID, right? Yes, along with the student ID. Suppose I want to delete this data, all right? So with respect to this 10FA student, specify that. So this API, no need any authentication, any request to payload, and it will not show you any information, right? Response payload it is. Once a student got deleted successfully, you can see 200, which is a status code. All right, let us try to do that. Click on send. It is automatically saved in the background, right? So it is just displaying this information. So in some cases, you won't be able to see any data, right? Suppose if it is a real-time API, if that such API is designed to display some message, some simple message it will display, right? So resource got deleted like that. But in this case, this API is got designed in such a way, it will show some information, right? So response payload along with the status code, which is a 200. All right, let us see which is 200. Yes, in this case, it is showing some information. Let us see whether you have that single student data or not. 10FA, is it right? Specify ID of the student. 10FA, right? See, observe here, click on send. So what it is saying, not found. Why? You have deleted that resource from the server. So that is the reason it is just displaying, not showing, right? So let us try to refresh these also. So we can see ID with 10FA. You don't have that record. That record got deleted. So when you try to fetch that record, so it is just showing not found. All right. So this is how you can create your own APIs, dummy APIs, right? You can try to work on that, right? Observe here, guys. Do we have only response payload? Tell me. Along with response payload, you have cookies, you have headers. Suppose if you have written any test, in the test results, you can see the status. You have this status code, right? You have this response time, you have this response data, lot of things you need to validate. Is it right? Lot of things, right? Let me write those things, right? What are those things? Status code, response body, response time, slide of data and response, right? Headers, cookies. Is it right? So, so how you can do validations? So to do validations, you need to learn some functions, right? We'll be seeing that in next session. But for now, see, guys, when you are doing automation with Selenium, right? So web automation with Selenium, right? What you will do, you will try to fetch actual data, right? So you will try to locate an element. From that element, you will try to fetch that actual data. So you'll try to check whether it is equal to expected data or not. Is it right? Expected data or not. If it is equal, you can say a particular test case is failed or passed. Right? In the similar way, right? In the similar way, I want to validate. So what you need to validate? You need to validate the data, right? For now, I am only talking about the data which is inside the body, right? Still, there are a lot of things, right? We'll be seeing those in the next session, right? I'm only bothering about the response data, right? So what you need to do, you need to check whether this phone is 654321 or not. Is this exact value or not? Is this expected value or not? Is it equal to actual value or not? Right? Suppose location, this is what an actual value. Suppose if your expectation is France, that means both actual and expected both are not equal. Then you can say your test case got failed. Is it right? So this is how we'll do with Selenium. That means you will get actual data. So actual data is a web element or not? Tell me, actual data is a web element or not? So what you will do, you will try to locate that web element. Locate that web element. Is it right? So how you can locate by using XPath or by using locator strategies, right? Is it right? So in the similar way, you have JSON response. You have JSON response. From the JSON response, you need to extract data. You need to extract data. So how you can extract data? By using JSON path. By using JSON path. Is it right? Suppose if you have XML data, how you can extract the data from an XML by using XPath? Is it right? XML path expression. Suppose if you have JSON data, to extract the data from the JSON, you need this JSON path. Right? The same way, guys. XML XPath, JSON path. Right? So first of all, you need to understand what is a JSON. Is it right? So it is very important. We are talking about JSON. First of all, what is a JSON? Once you know JSON only, you can extract the data. Is it right? By using JSON path. Right. So observe here, I'll be sharing this simple document with you. Right. Just go through this document. Just try to understand what is JSON. Right. So JSON is what a syntax for storing and exchanging data. Right. So every day we'll be trying to work with a lot of applications. In the network, the communication between the client and the server, right? So we'll try to have some communication. So how you can do communication with the help of JSON data? So whatever the data which you are specifying in the form of text, in the form of CSV, or in the form of like Excel, all these are converted to JSON, right? That converted JSON is required to communicate with the server. So it will be transferred via network and communicated with the server, right? So which is a lightweighted format, so which is very important than XML, right? So instead of XML, we'll go for JSON, right? So JSON is a syntax for storing and exchanging data, right? So it was generally designed for human readable data interchange. See, observe here. When I try to open this students.json, right? I'm just opening this. Right, show more options. Open. Let me take this. Open with Notepad. See, observe here. Are you able to understand this very easily? So it is having some list of objects, right? So each and every object is a key and a value, right? So a human can understand very easily, but XML, it is somewhat difficult for us so to understand. So that is the reason JSON got created. JSON is a syntax for storing and exchanging data, right? So it was designed for human readable data interchange. So it is a text, right? Like a text, you can see all the information, right? So it is a text, so written by JavaScript object notation. In this name, you can see one thing, JavaScript. That means this JSON is like a child of JavaScript. That means it is an extension version of JavaScript, right? It has been extended from JavaScript scripting language, right? For Python, .py is an extension. For JSON, .json is what an extension, right? See, so JSON intermedia type, internet media type. That means what type of data in what format you are sending along with the URI or you are getting from the server. So that is decided by media type, right? So observe here. So in the headers, right, which is a response headers. So you can see which is content type, which is application slash JSON. So what type of response you are seeing here? JSON response. Is it right? So that is determined by this content type. Suppose if you are having application slash text, the body, the response body will be able to see in the text. Suppose if it is having some another format like XML format, right, you will be seeing that response body data in an XML format. So all these informations developers will specify in Swagger documentation, right? So what type of data you will get will be decided by this media type. Media type in the sense a content type. It can be application slash JSON text, right? It can be XML, HTML, right? CSS, anything it is. So developer has the flexibility, right? In which format he can try to design an API, right? A very, very important thing. Simply JSON is an extension for JavaScript, which is a syntax for storing and exchanging data. Right, in JSON we have different data types, right? Like in other programming languages you have string, right? So sequence of characters enclosed inside a double quotes, right? So it is called as a string. You see here, name is a string, John Doe is also a string, but this is a key and this is a value, right? So this string can be consist of letters, it can be numbers, or it can be spaces, or it can be special characters also, right? This is what a string. Suppose if it is a number, right? So the plain number you can see 35.900 it is, right? It can be integers or floating point values, right? They no need any codes. Numbers don't need any codes, right? If you talk about a Boolean, Boolean means true or false. Is it right? So either true or false. They represent binary states, that is 1 or 0, right? So you see here null, sorry, false or true, all right? So you no need any codes, you no need to represent them inside codes, right? You take null. Null is nothing but empty value, right? Which is like a special value in JSON that represents absence of a value, no value, empty value, right? Which is decided by null, right? No need of codes also. You can just try to specify that null as it is, right? So array is nothing but a list of values. So observe here, skill is what a key, skills. This skills key is holding list. Is it right? Java, Python, Selenium. Scores is also a list of values 85, 90, 95. Right? So these values can be strings, numbers, or objects also. First of all, what is an object? Object is a collection like key and a value pair. Is it right? So observe here, this is a key, this is a value. Value is a list of a list, right? See, observe here, this is a key, this is a value. That entire thing is called as an object. All right. So object is a collection of key value pairs enclosed in curly braces. Is it right? So this is one opening curly brace, ending curly brace. Person object. This object consists of key value. So key value pairs. enclosed inside curly braces, it is called as an object, right? It is called as an object. Keys are strings, values can be any JSON type, right? So keys definitely must be strings. It is a thumb rule. Values can be of any JSON data type, right? So observe here, combining all the examples, all the data types. Name is a key, LIC is what a value. Age is a key, 28 is what a value, right? Which is of different data type. Is married, false, right? So this is Boolean, right? Null is null, right? Children, null, right? Hobbies, list of values, right? Address, which is an object, is it right? So any data which is inside curly braces with the key and value pairs, right? This is what an object. Address is what an object, is it right? Source is list. Profile complete, right? Is true. So entire thing is called as an object. Why? You have specified the data inside curly braces with the key and the value pairs. Key must be string, value must be of any data type, not necessarily string, right? You can see this example also, right? So this is how you can start an object with open and end with uh, close curly braces, open and end curly braces, open and close curly braces. So inside that you are having key value pairs. Is it at multiple keys? Title is what a key, cuckoo's calling is what a value, all is what a key, Robert Galbert is what a value, right? So detail is what an object, right? Detail object. Price, which is a list of objects, right? This is a list, is it right? So open square brace, ending square brace. Inside this list, you are having objects. This is one object, this is another object, right? This is how you can understand JSON and the different data types of JSON. It is very easy. It won't take 5 minutes of time also, all right? So just try to understand. I'll be sharing this with you, right? So once you understand, you can work with any type of JSON data. Why you need to understand these things? Again, I'm repeating. The body consists of JSON format payload. At the end of the day, I need to validate the data inside this body. Is it right? So I need to check whether this actual data is equal to expected data or not. Is it right? So I have expected data, which is in the form of some specification in Swagger document. I need to check if I send that request, right? So you will get the actual data, whether that actual data is equal to expected data or not. Is it right? So you take here phone 654321 is what an actual data. I need to extract this actual data. That means you need to locate like a web element in an application. So how you can locate a web element by using XPath. But here in the response body, to extract the actual value, you need to use a JSON path. You need to use a JSON path, right? So there are a lot of tools, guys. Which you can easily extract path of a value. Let me show you that. So before that, so how you can manually try to get the information of a specific value by using JSON path, we'll see that also, right? We have seen JSON, right? Let us see now JSON path. Like a XPath, JSON path is also a query language for JSON data, right? So XPath for XML, JSON path for JSON data, right? So what you do with the help of XPath, if you are from testing background, so when you try to write an XPath, it will navigate through each and every node. It will locate a element, is it right? So in the same way, when you write an JSON path, it will allow you to navigate and extract specific data. After navigating, it will extract specific data from JSON response, right? So you can try to extract, right? So courses, which is C++, right? Which is a list, right? So courses is what a list. So inside this list, you can extract C++. Name, right? You can extract Scott. Location, Germany. ID, you can also extract like this by using JSON path, right? So it is also a syntax to access elements, right? So it can be different data types like objects, arrays, right? Even if you are having nested data also, you can try to extract very, very easily. Right? There are a lot of tools which make our life very easy. For now, what I will do, first I will show you manually. Next, we'll go for some tools, online available tools. Right? To extract the data, you can follow this syntax. One is dot notation, bracket notation, and wildcard. Right? Dot notation is to access a child element. Right? So bracket notation is accessing array elements or specific keys. Right? Wildcard is matching all the elements. All right. So let us try to see. Let me take one simple data. Right. So you see here. So in the same folder, JSON files like students.json, I have created store.json. Let me open that. Right. You see store.json. So which consists of books. Right. The store consists of books as well as a bicycle. Right. So store JSON. Right, store object. Why I am saying object? Because entire data is what is stored data. You are enclosing inside this curly braces. This is what an object, store object. This store consists of, right, this store consists of uh, two childs. One is book, right, and the other is bicycle. Is it right? Store is like a parent, book and the bicycle is what a child, right? So book again, list of objects. This is one object and this is another object. List of objects. When you take bicycle, this is an object, only one object. Suppose if I want to extract mountain, right? So mountain is what a value, is it right? So how you can extract? So observe here very carefully. I'm trying to write this manually, right? See, when I specify dollar, dollar means entire object, entire JSON object. That dollar means entire JSON object. Let me write that point. You are going to extract a specific value. Is it right? Because to do some validations with expected data. So dollar represents entire data, entire data. In the sense, JSON object, right? Object response, JSON response, simply, right? JSON response. So if I specify uh, dollar, so what that is mean entire store.json data you are just representing. So inside this store, right? So enter JSON object, right? So entire response you are trying to represent. So inside this object you are having store object, is it right? So how you can access that? By specifying dot store, specify dot store. So dot notation, right? So if you specify dot, you can access child, is it right? So entire JSON response is having a child. What is that child? Store is what a child. I want to extract mountain, which is a value. This store is having two childs. One is book and the other is bicycle, right? I want this bicycle. So what I can do, I can access the child, right? Store dot, what is the child? Bicycle, right? This bicycle consists of a key. That value is mountain. So get that child, another child. Type is another child of bicycle. Is it right? Store is like a parent for bicycle and for book. I want mountain, which is what a value, which I want to extract. This value is associated with this key. This key is like a child to this bicycle. How we can access a child? By using dot notation. Is it right? By using dot notation. Accessing childs. That's what we have seen here. Parent, child, child. Is it right? This child again it is having child. You're trying to access the value of this type, which is mountain. So you have bracket notation. So to access list, right? So array elements are specific keys, right? Let's suppose, let me make you understand. So if I want to access, let me take book consists of authors, right? So book is what? Array of objects, is it right? So let me write that. Book is what? An array of objects, right? Array of objects. So this is one object and this is another object. Title is Java programming, title is Python basics, right? So I want the author, which is John Doe, which is Java programming author it is. So what I can do, so I can just specify the same syntax, right? So dollar means entire response. This response is having a child store. Is it right? So this store is having two childs. One is book and the other is bicycle. All right. So what I will do, I will try to access this book. Right. So this book, which is an array. If you want to access elements inside array, you need to specify index number. Is it right? First element will be having zero is what an index number. Good. If you specify zero, so it will try to access this Java programming. Right? Java programming title, author, price. This object it will try to. So in this object, we have John Doe, which is having the key author. So specify that key. That's it. Specify that key. So it will try to return you that John Doe. Suppose you have book. Book consists of array of uh, books. Is it right? So array of objects. If you want to access titles of all the books, so what you can do? So I can specify book of star. Star means all books, right? So I want a title. All books are title. Specify title, right? So you are following dot notation along with the bracket notation. Is it right? So that's what I'm trying to access here. So you can also use wildcard, right? So star matches all the elements. Is it right? So observe here. I'm specifying star here. Star means you are trying to access all the books inside this store object, right? So inside this, you are having titles of all the books. You are trying to get that child, right? By using dot notation, right? So this is how you can write manually, but nowadays, lot of tools are there, right? So let me show you one simple tool, which is JSON Path Finder. JSON Path Finder. Search for that. So click on this first link. You can see it here. So how beautifully it will try to return you. Let me take this. Right. So copy this, paste it here, the JSON response. All right, the JSON response. So it will try to give you this JSON object. Is it right? Store consists of two chains. One is book and bicycle. Is it right? Observe here, store consists of two chains. One is book and bicycle. Both are elements, right? So one is list of objects, and the other is object, right? So observe here. So click on that. So you can see. So book one title is Java programming. Book two Python basics. So bicycle is what an another object. Suppose if you want this mountain, you want to extract this. You need to specify the path for this. Just to click on that. So once you click on that, you can see this is what a path, a JSON path. Is it right? So is it the same thing? Observe here. Is it the same thing which we have written? So X in the sense there, it is nothing but a dollar, right? So dollar in the sense here, entire object. The same here, X there. Dot store, dot bicycle, dot type. Suppose if you want author, right? So let me take Java programming author. Click on that. So is this what a JSON path which we have written, right? So let us see. Is it right? Yes, it is right. Suppose if you want all books a title, right? You need to write that manually like this because you need to capture all the books. Is it right? So that's where I am specifying this wild character. So you can easily locate a path of an object, right, by using some tools, right? So you have JSON path finder, right? You have JSON path finder and validator, right? JSON path finder and validator, right? Different types of online tools are available, right? So you can just click on that. So you can see specify the JSON here. This is what an entire JSON, Right, let me copy from here. Control A, Control C, specify it a JSON path find. This is another website. So observe here. So how beautifully it will try to return you that. So you can just click on this copy, right? So suppose if you want to get this mountain, click on that. So once you click on that, you see here store dot bicycle data type. Is it right? Suppose if you want to validate that, so there is another tab, JSON path validator. The same JSON path, you can specify that. Click on here, paste it here. Click on evaluate. Right? Is it right? So is it extracting mountain beautifully? Right. This is one thing. So let me specify here title. I want to extract the title from this JSON data. Right. Right. Title. Right. You see here all the titles it has extracted. Java programming basics. Suppose if you want only author of Java programming, get that author, which is John Doe. Is it right? So you can also evaluate. So whatever the JSON path which you have written. See why you need to understand this manual thing, because you have seen the response. It is very, very simple. Is it right? The JSON response which we are dealing here. But if you take a real APIs, you will not be able to see this simple type of response. Lot of objects, lot of lists, lot of data types you'll be having. So in that case, you need to understand how you can extract a specific value so that you can do some validation. Right? For that reason, you need to understand manually. Then you can try to achieve the same thing by using some automation tools. You can also uh, validate. So whatever the manual things which you have written, right? Only up to now we have discussed. So how you can extract a specific value from response body, right? In the next session, we'll see a lot of validations along with response body, right? We'll see status code validation, response time, size of the data and response, headers and cookies, right? Lot of things which we need to discuss, right? So this is what respect to creating dummy APIs, JSON and JSON